encourage drinking here, so please don't hesitate to go spend all your money out there. We give all those profits away every single night that we do a show here to the same benevolent organization since we opened in 2011. I know, we do. And it's called My Family. And we've added to that recently with a grandchild, so we really need your money. So spend a whole buttload out there tonight if you don't mind. Also in the lobby, there's 2 restrooms. Now, there's only 1 toilet per room, so you queue up in front of the bar and wait your turn, or just a bunch of you go in together and figure it out. That'd be all right, too. We don't care. We're not making a statement of any political, social, or religious content. It's just there's 1 toilet per room. There is a men's room and a ladies' room downstairs, and after Levi plays, before Shawnee comes out, there'll be a little break, and y'all are welcome to go downstairs to those restrooms. But especially welcome to go out and spend all your money at the bar. That's still got a little reminder there, a little nagging thing. Hey, listen, I only met Shawnee when he was in high school at Clarkston High School, which is down right near Decatur. And I've known him a long time, and Shawnee has always been one of my favorite crafters of song. He's a great storyteller, and he has that way of like reaching out there and grabbing you and bringing you and putting you right there on his shoulder to go along with the ride on the song. And it's a cool thing. And we're doing another show tomorrow night that he's going to have the whole big band here, but that's sold out. So y'all better get your fill tonight, because you can't come tomorrow, even if you want to. But I'm surely glad you're here tonight, and I know you're going to have a blast. We've been celebrating his birthday together for a long time. It started down in Decatur, and we've just managed to continue on doing it for some reason. I don't know why, because we're both getting older than dirt. But anyway, that's what we do. Now, this evening, we got another special treat, because Shawnee and I both have a favorite songwriter who's just a wee bit younger than us, not a whole lot, but a wee bit. And we've known him since he was a puppy. And we've watched him develop and watched him grow, and it's really special and really cool. And I can't wait for y'all to hear this young man if you don't know who he is. But I hope you'd sound like you're about 1,000 people and give a nice welcome to Levi Lowrey.
A lot of people here. I stood up here a month ago to the day and said, I'll be here a month from now. But I told you. The sun will rise another day. And even when the darkest clouds are forming, we'll find another way. We'll find another way. Take my hand, we'll make it through. There's nothing you and I can't do. And we'll walk this road till kingdom come. Sit back and look at the things we've done, all the things we've done. So I believe in the morning, the sun will rise another day. And even when the darkest clouds are forming, we'll find another way. We'll find another way. Thank you. It's absolutely an honor to be here celebrating Shawn Mullin's birthday with you good people. He is, in my opinion, one of the best songwriters on the planet, and possibly even on other planets. I don't know. I haven't heard the offerings, but I'm sure he's right up there among the best of them. I thought about playing this. I wrote a couple of songs on my newest record with Shawn, so I think it's only appropriate to play one. This is my wife's favorite song of mine. She's going to be upset that she wasn't here to see me play it. So, nobody say anything. Why do you love him like you do? After all the hell he's put you through, he says he's doing the best he can. Well, you deserve a better man. I'll never see what you see in him. You're glowing bright and he's growing dim. I know you love him, but I ain't a fan. Darling, you deserve a better man. A better man would understand that your love is patient, true. Well, I guess he forgot all he's got. A better man is all I really want for you. You've given him one more last chance to walk that walk and dance that dance. But it was halfway over before it began. You deserve a better man. A better man would understand that your love for him is faithful and true. But I guess he forgot all he's got. A better man is all I really want from you. We've been friends a long, long time. Love's a poet with a crooked rhyme. He's got no directions and a best laid plan. You deserve a better man. Yeah, I wanna be a better man. Thank you, Ben. You got some good seats. Did you buy pretty early? Bought early, showed up late. I'm teasing. Those are good seats. That's really nice. What's that? That counts. That's good. That's a valid reason. What kind of beer was it? Oh, what kind? Y'all might be my favorite people here tonight. What kind of bourbon? Okay. So, okay, there's a couple people in here who love that. How about the IPA? What kind of IPA were you drinking? Oh, the Good Word, gotcha. I'm not familiar with that one. It's good? Is it like 9%, or is it more manageable? 6? That's more manageable. I can get behind that. Sir, we're having a discussion. Please don't leave. He's like, well, I'm thirsty too. Opening is fun because I don't have as much pressure on me. I mean, I could just talk the rest of the time, actually. And I mean, I know Shawn's gonna get up here and kill it anyway, so Yeah, it's nice. I'm really relaxed. It took about 35 minutes to get dinner, actually. So I said, y'all just wrap that up to go for me. And so we ate some of the appetizer, and then after this conversation, I'm going to go have my burger. So I thought about eating it up here. I think we discussed that a little bit. I decided against it, but as we've already established, it would have been perfectly okay to do so. Because I'm just an opener. Some of you have seen me before, some of you haven't, and you are very worried and concerned. Because we're going to wait for him to come back before we start again. And those of you who have seen me know that I'll do it. Those that haven't are hoping I won't. I would never. I totally would. Oh, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. We're good. We're not y'all aren't even the ones we're waiting on. We're here. Okay. Okay. All right, out of respect for Mr. Mullins and his birthday, I'll continue on. But when he comes back, would everybody just, or somebody sing everything that he missed to him, or at him. At him. To him implies permission. At him is more like, this is going to happen whether you like it or not. You all find yourself in that position currently. What happened to the show? I'm not sure yet. Okay, it's gone on long enough. Here we go. Let's play a song in the key of who cares?
Sure am glad that it's over. Crosses to bear and bridges to cross. The trouble, she's been our companion, like a detour sign to make sure we stay lost. But now the grandstand is full and confetti's taking flight, and the countdown started. It's only seconds to midnight. Throw your arms around me. It looks like we're gonna make it through. Dance like your worries are falling far away to a place where they won't worry you. Yeah, leave them all behind. Way back there, time, December 31, 11:59. Now my pocket's empty, but the champagne's gold. Well, look at you laughing after all that we've been through. With the world removed, my shoulders getting lighter, and your eyes shine a brighter shade of blue. Yeah, we're cleaner than forgiveness, We're innocents reborn. Stretch out your fingertips. Feel the calm after the storm. Throw your arms around me. Looks like we're gonna make it through. Dance like your worries are falling far away to a place where they won't worry you. Yeah, leave them all behind. Way back there in time, December 31, 11:59. Yeah, leave them all behind. Way back there in time, December 31, 11:59. December 31, 11:59. Thank you. Is he back? All right, now I'm starting to get concerned. It was funny at first. Is anybody here with him? Or did he come by himself? Thanks for the help. My son, my youngest son is sitting over here and he's holding up notes on his phone of songs that I should play. It's like, Dad, please stop talking. Oh, I can't do that. Good night, everybody. Yes. You don't have to be that excited about it. What am I doing? Okay. He asked for one, and it requires a tuning that I learned from a guy named Travis Meadows, and that I'm pretty sure he learned from a guy named Chuck Cannon. But if you tune your guitar to this tuning, you can play most Travis Meadows and Chuck Cannon songs. So maybe we'll just go there for the rest of the evening.
Like, does this sound familiar? This? Right? I ain't never gonna get out of this town, right? Travis is a very, very dear friend of mine. I've written a lot of songs with him over the years, and this is one of the first ones. I need to clean up this old house. I need to take the garbage out. My boy's coming over for the weekend. Can't wait to see him. We'll order out and watch cartoons. Build a big old fort in the living room. He's only 8 years old. He don't know. But I stay home a lot, alone a lot, and I try to turn the lights out around 10 o'clock. I read some, hit my knees some. I don't know what to do with all this freedom. The TV keeps me company when he's gone. I'm learning how to live alone. My old friends don't come around. We all choose sides when the ship goes down. I outgrew my reputation. I'm on vacation. Ain't had a drink in 7 months. To tell the truth, I ain't wanted one. The holidays got pretty rough though, and I came so close. But I stay home a lot, alone a lot. I try to turn the lights off around 10 o'clock. I read some, I hit my knees some. I don't know what to do with all this freedom. I sleep better with the TV on, learning how to live alone every night. Might be just what I need. Yeah, I think this whole thing could wind up being good for me. Read what's that? Yeah. I eat good, sleeping pretty good. Hell, I'm doing better than I thought I ever would. I read some, try to hit my knees some, and I pay my health a little more attention. At this point, it don't matter who was wrong. It's time for growing up, moving on, learning how to live. Thank you. Hey. Good to see you. All right, David McAdams, huh? Well, and also, will you go ahead and sing him those last 2 songs? 3 songs. Is that right? Just do it kind of quietly. Well, that's very kind of you to say, but I'm having an off night. It's not. I'm usually way better than this. I haven't played this song in a long time, but I had my first panic attack on a Kayamo cruise ship for songwriters. And I walked out the door of my cabin, got halfway down the hallway, and I was like, oh, wow, I'm dying. I'm dying now. And I went back to my room and dialed 911 on the boat phone. I was thinking, like, I mean, hopefully this works. And, so, like, and it did. It actually, like, they picked up, they were like, what's your emergency? I was like, oh, so thankful that they didn't change the number on the boat. What's your emergency? Well, I'm dying, so I need you to come get me. And I wrote out a letter to my wife and kids on like a napkin that was in my room. Because I was dead, so I was going to die. But that's how this song started. That I would go like that when the whiskey and a panic started fighting back. My heart pounding like waves on the water. Am I the only one that feels it getting hotter? Well, I was making peace with the Lord above, scratching out a letter to my one true love, praying for one chance to hold her. Am I the only one that feels it getting colder? There won't be no trouble tomorrow. All we leave is worry and sorrow. Running barefoot through a smoky field, cutting my feet on a glass windshield. Their blood and mine mixed together. I was bound to their fate like a tether. I held the mother's hand and we prayed out loud. Her daughter lying lifeless never made a sound. She slipped from one world to another, body and soul torn asunder. But there won't be no trouble tomorrow. There won't leave his worry and sorrow. Well, they say that you can't take it with you. You leave the curses when you go. There won't be no trouble tomorrow. There won't be no trouble tomorrow. 'Cause all we leave is worry and sorrow. There won't be no trouble tomorrow. All we leave
say that you can't take it with you. You leave the curses when you go. But there won't be no trouble tomorrow. There won't be no trouble tomorrow. Thank you. I wasted hours praying for rain, 'cause I cursed the clouds when they finally came. I'm bound and determined to protest the change. I begged for a shortcut when my lungs were on fire. Then I cursed every step that got steeper and higher. I could have danced on the mountain, but my legs were too tired. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Story and what little I found. I ain't never been lost, but I've been turned around. Hallelujah, hallelujah, for the long way home. Now looking back, I can see where I strayed. Got my reward for the choices I've made. Just a little bit stronger, refined by the flames. Thank you.
I'd love to do one more for you if you'll allow me. Shalom is the sound guy. He's the best sound guy on the planet because he is. He really is. He's the best one I've ever worked with. I've yet to find a better one, and I actively search. But he truly is. He also has a microphone up there that he can talk to me where y'all can't hear it. And it's one of the best things about playing here, actually. I said, I'd love to play one more if y'all will allow it. And he comes on and he goes, There's this video on YouTube of Shalom actually singing, where he takes that mic and he puts it in the mains. And there's these two gentlemen up here singing a song, a traditional Jewish song, correct? And Shalom comes on the microphone all of a sudden, just kind of out of nowhere, and it's like, what? Like, no idea. Had no idea that he's probably the best singer in the room right now. Like, he's incredible voice. I encourage you to check that out. It's on YouTube. But he's incredibly beautiful voice and wonderful human being, and the entire staff here is wonderful. So y'all keep coming back. So I'll say one last thing. Thank you so much for listening to me and putting up with me, tolerating me. I do want to say that, and I'm sure that I speak for Shawn as well, it's amazing to me when I go anywhere and anybody shows up at all to watch whatever this is that we do. I still don't understand what it is, but we do something. And it's amazing that people sit down on the floor and look in this direction and pay money to do it. I know that everybody's here for Shawn, and I am too, promise you. But I do want to express gratitude for you supporting the arts and supporting artists and songwriters, and because we can't do this without you guys at all. I mean it. We go through some really dark times. We go through a lot of struggles in this business, and mentally and in every other way. And the one thing that we can always come back to is why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Well, it's you guys. It's right here. It's all worth it. We thank you very much, and that's all I have to say. Sorry.
She'd trade Colorado if he'd take her with. Closes the door before the winter lets the cold in, and wonders if her love is strong enough to make him stay. She's answered by the taillights shining through the window pane. Said I want to see you again, but I'm stuck in colder weather. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Can I call you then? She said you're a rambling man. You ain't never gonna change. You've got a gypsy soul to blame, and you were born to leave. a truck stop down just outside of Lincoln. Not as black as the coffee he was drinking. And in the waitress' eyes, he sees that same old light a shining. And he thinks of Colorado and the girl he left behind. He said, I want to see you again, but I'm stuck in cold weather. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Can I call you that? She said, you're a rambling man. You ain't never gonna change. You got a gypsy soul to blame, and you were born for leaving.
Country songs on the radio have to live around 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 30 seconds long. And when we wrote this song, there was another verse on it. And they came and said, we love the song, we want to make it a single, but you got to cut a verse. So we said, okay. Yes, please. But this is that verse, and I think it's actually my favorite verse. In the rear view he can see a fire glowing. His hesitation comes and goes without her knowing. And in the distance through the windshield he can see that snow is falling. And he wonders if his calling is worth one more goodbye. He said, I want to see you again, but I'm stuck in colder weather. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Can I call you then? She said, you're a rambling man. You ain't never gonna change. You've got a gypsy soul to blame, and you were born for leaving. You were born for leaving. Shawn Mullins coming up next. Thank you all. Appreciate you. Thank you.
shouldn't be doing this, and we both know why. Just being close enough to think like this, enough to make it need to lie. This kind of talk could lead us to somewhere. We're getting way too close to going there. The farther off the better to resist. We really shouldn't be doing this. Only an isolated incident, but the acquaintance left me stunned. The first impression was the hardest hit I thought I'd ever overcome. This kind of situation has to pass. We better say goodbyes real fast. The farther up the better to resist. We really shouldn't be doing this. We both be hurting somebody else if we don't say our goodbyes real fast. We don't think about a goodbye kiss. We really shouldn't be doing this. We really shouldn't be doing this, and we both know why. Just being close enough to think like this, enough to make it need to lie. This kind of talk would lead us to somewhere. We're getting way too close to going there. The farther up the better to resist. We really shouldn't be doing this. This kind of situation has to pass. We better say goodbyes real fast. The farther up the better to resist. We really shouldn't be doing this. Don't even think about a goodbye kiss. We really shouldn't be doing this. Thank you.
And the living is easy. Fish are jumping, the cotton is high. Oh, your dad is rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings you're gonna rise up singing. You'll spread your wings, you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mammy standing by.
trippy little thing, and I can't get my mind around you. You are a flower in the spring, and I can't believe I found you when I did. You are my ride around the moon, and I don't care if I never come down. You pulled me out of my lonely room to somewhere that I never would have found. All around the world, fire was coming down. People said the end was nigh, but I saw you standing outside my office window. Smile turned to the sky, dripping. You are my trinity thing, and I get the message that you're sending. You know I never like to change, but the axis of my world is bending. You give me reason to live when I was on my way down. That smile is all you gotta give, spins my world round and round. Forget about the rising sun. I know they'll never look the same. Still with all my searching, shrinking the tears I cry. Smile turn to the sky, tripping.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome, please, Mr. Shawn Mullins.
I got confused on which song I was going to end the show with, and I picked up the one I was going to end it with instead of the one I was going to start with. Trust me, you don't want me to start with the big hit, none of us will know what to do. Okay. Man, so good to see you. Oh, that's better. How's that? How does that work? I don't think I'm going to the eye doctor quite enough, because once a year is not quite enough. Yeah, all right. For real. So, yeah. So it's really good to be here for more than, normally I would say that. It's really nice to be here. Even if I'm in a town where it's really not all that nice to be there. I'll say that, because it's, you're moving through the whole thing and getting through it, and you are appreciative, but it's especially here, it's always wonderful to play here and have you guys show up, and yeah, and the personal weird part of it is I'm so grateful to be here because I got off of a cruise ship and a music festival last Friday. We did, and on the flight home, I said, "Man, I'm not feeling so good." And then my next memory was laying in the bathtub shivering about 3 a.m, and that went on for a few days, where I wanted to spend more time in the bathtub than I was in an actual bed, and it was like, oh, this is like a womb, and I would lay in the bathtub. And it's, it's not a nice bath. It's the old, like 50s style bathtub that's like ceramic, and I was all in there twisted up, and it was messed up, man. But so I'm very grateful, and because yesterday morning I woke up feeling about 70%, and this morning I woke up feeling 75%. So I'm like, hey, no, I feel actually 100%. But I've got sinus stuff, so if my tone's different, you just have to deal with it. That's nothing I can do about it. I didn't want to get sick. But it was a weird one, man. It was a real weird one. No fever, but chills and cold sweats. I never had that happen before. It felt like a big old flu to me. But no, in fact, I was a little under temperature. The whole thing was just a blast. It's Friday night, I'm back again with my old guitar and my trusty grin. Best you don't come in here sign tattooed on this heart of mine. From a dirty brown check carpet stage, I sing my song and I pace the cage, stuck up here in the twilight zone, staring out into the great unknown. There's an old Hank Williams figurine hanging by a guitar string from the pull chain of the Pabst Blue Ribbon sign, with a clock that stopped on 9:30. Yeah, the time ain't changed around here in years. It's the same sad stories, the same old tears. Ain't nobody wants to be alone out here in the great unknown. You can find a stool there at the bar. It's designed to take you nowhere far. They got a mirror back behind the whiskey shelves, where we don't dare look back at ourselves. Just past the men's room down the hall, I'm barely hanging there on a plaster wall. A faded sticker on the old payphone says, "Welcome to the great unknown." It's out beyond the yonder star. It's all up in there where you are. By some cosmic wind we're blown out into the great unknown. Yeah, hopes and dreams and ash and dust. It all seems to either rot or rust. Souls wrapped up in flesh and bone, heartbeats in the great unknown. It's Friday night and I'm back again. Thank you. I wrote that with my dear friend Chuck Cannon and a friend also named Christina Aldendeifer. She was a great songwriter who is in Nashville as well. And that song actually started with a poem that she had written about someone who had come back to Nashville after being gone for many years. And that's what happens, though, when you get three people together and you have the beginnings of something from a poem. What becomes something like, 20 years ago I was here and now I'm coming back. Now it's Friday night and I'm back. And I remember something being changed from, I remember instead of a tattooed on this heart, at one point we had talked about it being a chain around the heart with a sign on it that said that. And I'm like, what about if it was a tattoo on it? It was interesting. It was fun to write songs with those guys. And Chuck and I especially, we'll be together tomorrow again. We haven't done that in a long time. He's been on the road a lot. He spends most of his time in Texas playing, because you can play in Texas all year long and never hit the same place twice. But someone was asking me about one of my favorite, who are my favorite people to write with, and he certainly is. The problem with it, I will tell you, there is one, and Chuck, if you're listening, sorry. If you're watching, and I know you didn't anyway. But the only thing about it is he can run off with a song because he's so good. So if your ego gets in the way, and you're not worried, and you're not, in for the good of the song. If your ego is bothered by the fact that he just starts to run off with a lyric because it's coming, and then he just goes, "What about this? Blah 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 blah," and you'll be like, "Huh?" So it's kind of, and for a lot of people, they'll be like, "Well, screw you, Chuck. You just write the song yourself." Fact, that's happened a lot with him. He's told me that. He goes, "Man, I've ruined a lot of relationships, man." And I'm like, and I just love it because that kind of talent, man, blows my mind. When someone has that kind of thing. So I'll be doing a few things, including this next one that we wrote together. This one, we were talking about the song. Chuck and I were talking about Prince's Little Red Corvette, and I said, I'd like to put Trans Am in this song. I remember loving Smokey and the Bandit a lot. And, wouldn't it be cool, though, if it was a red Trans Am, which is not something I remember seeing as a 10-year-old. They were probably around, but it was mostly the Smokey and the Bandit black one. Well, he was from a small town in northern Mississippi, and she was raised on the Puget Sound, a third-generation hippie. Fate would take them to L.A. County, get them stuck in a traffic jam, an El Camino and a red Trans Am. Her stereo was blaring Bob Dylan, the bootleg sessions, and all the times they are changing made a pretty good impression. She looked over and caught him smiling under a California setting sun. They fell in love on the 101. California, California, California dreams come true. Well, they got in with that in crowd. They got off on the rock and roll. Well, the cocaine's free and the music's loud. Backstage at the Hollywood Bowl, they got the house in Topanga Canyon. Yeah, they partied at the Viper Room, blending in to the neon gloom. Hey, California, California, California dreams come true. You can dream you want to, baby. California, California, California dreams come true. Well, you see them down on the Sunset Strip, trying so hard to be so hip. Manhattan Beach to Malibu, you know it's all about the ocean view. Who you know in Hollywood, it's cutthroat, baby, but it's understood. Champagne, Kool-Aid, drink it down. You're the toast of Tinseltown. California, California, California dreams come true. Yes, they do, yes, they do. California, California, California dreams. that it worked out actually between them. They ended up. It's a true story, by the way. They got out of California. They moved to Austin, and then after that they moved to Duluth, right here. And doing okay. They just had to keep going smaller and smaller and like laid back and more laid back and chill and small town vibe. We want the old school thing, you know. And you know. Buford Highway, let me slip away on you. I love it. I love me some good food. So cruise ship food's interesting, and we found out that there's different levels. And I didn't know this. And my dear friend Panda told me about that, especially because he's very keen on desserts. And he said, now don't bother with the desserts in the main thing there that you walk past. He goes, there's no taste to them. I said, yeah, I don't normally get the dessert because I'm always trying to watch my weight anyway, so I still drink 6 Cokes a day, but you know, I'm trying not to do that on top of it. And he goes, yeah, well, there's no sugar in that, so you might as well eat that instead. He goes, so we went to this other restaurant, though, where you have to pay a little bit, but that's where they keep the good desserts, like the apple crumble with the ice cream and all that kind of stuff. But man, it's hard not to gain weight or be unhealthy when you're on a big cruise ship. It's also hard not to get a crud like I got, man. I understand that many people left, unfortunately. They usually have a lot of guys, I guess they're Filipino, they're standing at the doors of the cafeterias with spray bottles, and they go, washi, washi, happy, happy, smiley, smiley, all the time, and they're doing this to everyone as they walk in. So you're like, that's what we need to be doing. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, I'm fine. No, it ain't fine. But they do so much to keep those boats clean too, man. They work hard. They ain't messing around. Like there's always somebody doing something in multiple places to like keep it clean and even painting and just all kinds. It's really incredible. This thing that I do it's called Kayamo. It's a music festival on the water and put on by 6 Man and a company that Andy Levine started years and years ago, and then I believe he sold it, or at least is still partners with it with Norwegian Cruise Lines. First one was Carnival, I remember that. Yeah. What I remember is one time I did the rock boat, or 2 times. And the rock boat's a whole nother thing, but these guys, same guys do it. And they do a bunch of them. They did the Kiss cruise, and they did all kinds of, there's like 15 or 20 of them. Simple Man is the one that the Skinner guys and all the Southern rock bands do, and then there's an outlaw country one. So there's a bunch of different cool cruises. Kayamo is mostly singer-songwriters, but they'll have people like Chris Thiele came this year, and with Sarah and Shawn, and they did the Nickel Creek thing. So you'll have some bluegrass or modern style bluegrass mixed in with singer-songwriters. Good night, everybody. Jesus, will you sing a song for Christ's sakes? I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Sorry about all the sniffing. I didn't want to blow my nose, in front of you either. It's a weird thing. So I'm just going to sound like somebody did back in the 70s when they were singing live. I just want to light you up like a fire. I just want to turn you on, turn you on, and take you high. Everybody's got a flat screen. Everybody's gotta be seen. Everybody wanna be famous. Ain't nobody gonna blame us. Everybody wants the real deal. Everybody wants to cop a good feel. Everybody want more money. Everybody wants a taste of your honey. I just want to light you up, light you up, like a fire, like a fire. I just want to turn you on, and take you high. Everybody wants to pick your guitar. Everybody wanna ride in that fast car. Everybody wants a puff of your pipe dream. Everybody wanna lick of your ice cream. Yeah, the teacher wanna tell you how to live right. Your mama and your daddy got you uptight. Your lover gonna go and pick another fight. I just wanna keep you up all night. I just want to light you up. Sing it with me. Light you up like a fire. Don't be shy. I just want to turn you on, turn you on, and lay you higher. Yeah, this world can bring you down, turn your smile into a frown, break your heart and make you sad, drive you stark, raving mad. But I just want to light you up, light you up, like a fire. I just want to turn you on, turn you up, take you higher. I just want to light you up, light you up, like a fire. Just want to turn you on, turn you up, and take you higher. Okay. So, and that was another fun one, writing that with Chuck, because I woke up with pretty much that chorus one morning in my head, which is really unusual for me. I've heard of other songwriters that dreamed songs before, but that's the first time it had really happened, where, you know, I just want to light you up like a fire. I was like, that's a weird melody, and I like it. I'm not sure that it's mine. That's the first thing that you do. You know, you go, I don't know. If I woke up with it and I was, you know, listening to the TV all night, and you just don't know. And so I thought it, you know, I'd fallen asleep with Telemundo on or something. So I called Chuck, or actually we played in Asheville at the Grey Eagle together. Someone I saw earlier had mentioned the Grey Eagle, and they saw me there. Thank you, bro. Chuck and I were going to play there, And I said, hey, have you ever heard this before? And I sang, I just want to. I did all of that. I had one little different thing at the very end, which he helped make it better. But anyway, I said, have you heard that before? And he said, no. That's cool, man. What is that? And I said, well, I just kind of dreamed it. Woke up with that this morning. And I don't know what, I'm just thinking that it's got to be somebody else's. He goes, well, I've never heard that. And I know a lot of songs. And he really does. And I said, well, great. And he goes, hey, you mind if I get in on it? He goes, that sounds kind of like a big one to me. And I said, well, sure, man. I don't know what I'm going to do now. That's all I've got, and I didn't really have to work for it. Not as far as I know. And so the next time I got a chance, I got to Nashville, and we wrote together. We stayed up all night and a little bit of scotch, and we laughed so hard writing those verses. And things that I would never think to put in a song, that's where Chuck Cannon comes in. And there's a different attitude in the songwriting style. He wrote Toby Keith's "How Do You Like Me Now," for instance. He wrote a lot of that with Toby, of course. But he can be a South Carolina smart-ass country boy, and then tongue in cheek, but he's also a brilliant songwriter. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting him back here tomorrow. I used to play this place in Mississippi, and I learned one time that if I went another route, I could get there, and it wouldn't be that much longer, and I could visit this museum called the Jimmy Rogers Museum in Meridian, Mississippi. Anybody ever been there? Really? Have you been to the Jimmy Rogers Museum? Yeah, that's cool though, right? Does anybody even know who I'm talking about? Yodelay, yodelay, oh yodelay, oh yodelay. Except he did that a lot better with tuberculosis. But that's who made that up, and he was called the Blue Yodeler, and he's kind of the grandfather of country music. They used to call him the father, so now I call him the grandfather. But he was happening in those late 1920s, early 30s. I think he might have died right in the early 30s. Fantastic songwriter. I grew up listening to that stuff because my grandfather was on the railroad, and so was this wonderful singer-songwriter by the name of Jimmy Rogers. Anyway, I loved that place so much. I would go to it whenever I could. But the first time, I remember I stopped afterwards to get a bite to eat, and it was a place that was obviously used to. You could tell it had been a burger, a Dairy Queen. Sorry, and with the shape of that thing. What is that? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about? So they had that. And you could tell the building. It's like when you pass a Pizza Hut that ain't a Pizza Hut anymore. You're like, that shit used to be a Pizza Hut. Or a CVS pharmacy. They try to pull it with that too. It'll be down where I live. Y'all live. I don't know if y'all are in the suburbs or not, but I'm down in kind of in the city, and there'll be like a dialysis clinic or like a plasma place, and you can tell it used to be a CVS drugs. Damn, man. Fuck. I gotta get out of here, man. So anyway, in a few years we're heading to the mountains, and just as soon as my boy gets out of high school. Anyway, I was ordering a burger, and this place was not a Dairy Queen any longer. It was called Dairy King now. And they had it hand painted on there. It said King on that thing that used to, be just part of the Dairy Queen. So, for some reason, no one from Dairy Queen was coming after these people in Meridian, Mississippi. They were like leaving them alone. And I said, this has got to be a good burger in here. So that's where I ate lunch. And as I ordered my burger, I overheard a conversation in the window. And a girl about 16 maybe was working the drive-thru. And she was talking to some friends of hers through the drive-thru window. And I remember as they pulled away, one of them yelled back at her, "Billy Joe McKay, you ain't never getting out of this town." And I thought, wow, what a name. Oh my God. Because I don't know if like you grew up with a song, you know, by Bobby Gentry called "Ode to Billy Joe." So that came to my mind immediately. I was like, Billy Joe, it's like, this is kind of the same kind of vibe, you know. I love that Hawaii, and it's in Mississippi. I'm in the middle of Mississippi. Of course it's Billy Joe McKay. Thought, my God, what is her life like that she's got to get out of here, and then her friends are like, "You'll never get out." Messing with her, you know. My name's Billy Joe McKay. I just turned 16 yesterday. I'm going to get the nerve one day to get out of here. My mom passed on 3 years ago. It was cancer and it took her slow. But ever since then I've been saying no to my daddy and my tears. So if you come down our road, you gotta watch the bump. Right there across from the garbage dump. You can find me out back jumping on the trampoline. In the springtime we'll be skipping school. We'll sneak off to the Cantrell's swimming pool. Man, you can't get much cooler than me and my friend Darlene. My granddaddy's hands are worn. 50 years of growing cotton and corn. Back behind the house where I was born, before he had to sell. My cousin Eddie, he got shot in the Super Walmart parking lot. Man, this little town's changed a lot. He said it hurt like hell. My name's Billy Joe McKay. It's a hot Mississippi summer Saturday. Daddy's on the front porch with Uncle Dave, drinking Dixie beer. Well, 16 years of being bored. Man, that window's open. Forget the door. I hope there's some gas in the old man's Ford. 'Cause I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Oh, I'm out of here. Oh, I'm finally out of here. She's probably still there, but very happy. I have no idea. That's the thing about writing songs. You're a fly on the wall, and you try to take what you can from the living around you and your own personal experiences, and you do your best. Some of us hide behind other characters, you know, a little bit. Most of us probably do. This song next one also really is a true story. Some people ask me that, if it's a real story, how much of it is true. And it's all true except for one tiny detail. And I'm wondering if I should tell you. It's kind of like a magician showing you the sponge ball trick, you know, how he palmed the babies the whole time right there with the, you know, the baby rabbit one. That's the one that used to blow my mind when I was a little kid, man. I'd go down to the Omni, and they used to have this mall down there, the World of Sid and Marty Croft. It was at the mall where they have whatever, State Farm Arena, whatever the fuck it is. And it used to be called the Omni, and they had an ice skating rink in there that was dyed green, like neon green, and everyone was ice skating all the time. And they had rides in there and shit. It was awesome. And they had a magician in a magic shop. And I remember I wanted to be a magician really badly, and I learned about the sponge, how to do, you know, where you do the, what is it called? Somebody here knows. Palming. You do that with the sponge rabbits, and when you do two sponge rabbits, and it makes a whole thing of baby rabbits pop out. There's like 20 of them, and it's really funny, right? Especially to a 10-year-old. But the one, yeah, so the one detail I will tell you, because now that I've told you all that, I'm not even drunk or high or anything. Isn't it? Pretty weird. Just, you know, post whatever that thing was that had me that evidently wasn't a flu. Not COVID, not a flu. Must be just a common cold. Why am I in a bathtub like this? For 5 days and nights. Oh, you should have gone to the doctor and gotten some antibiotics. Really? Because the last time I did that, it got rid of all my biotics down there. I've heard of that messing you up, man. I try not to take all that shit. You got to, though. I should have. So the one detail is, this song has one tiny thing, and what was bothering me about the fact about it is that this gentleman and I did actually meet at a place called Twin Rocks, Oregon. And if you've ever been to Twin Rocks, Oregon, unlike a lot of the other areas that are beach lined, you know, that part of Oregon is all beach and everything, but there's also mostly cliffs along Oregon's coastline, kind of like Northern Carolina, Northern California, as well as Southern California has a lot of cliffs as well. So, what are you saying? What are you talking about right now? Shouldn't have done that toad before the show. So I told him, I said, I got to thinking about it. I was like, okay, when I'm thinking to myself and I'm writing, I'm like, I don't like the fact that this is a beach we're sitting on and there are no cliffs. Because that's what the fact was, is there were no cliffs there at all. It was just beaches and then those two cool rocks out there. But I didn't like the way the word beach sounded. I'm not really a beach person. And so I'm like, man, I want to talk about sitting on the cliffs with this guy, even though there's not cliffs in this one particular part. So that's the only part that's a lie. All right? I met him on the cliffs of Twin Rocks, Oregon. He was sitting on his bedroll looking just like Richard Brodigan. And I thought he was an old man. He wasn't but 37. He said he'd been riding trains for 15 years and drawing portraits to keep his belly full of beers. It looked to me like he died and missed the plane to heaven. But he was a nice old guy for a younger man. He had a bottle of Mad Dog he held tightly in his hand. He waved it around a lot, trying to make his point. And I listened as he told his tales of wine and women
county jails. We finished off that bottle, smoked a half a joint. He said, I came here to watch the sun disappear into the ocean. It's been years since I smelled this salty sea. He turned his bottle up and down. I saw him lost and I saw him found. And he said, I don't know what I've been looking for. Maybe me. Well, I told him I too had been traveling around, just living out of my van from town to town to town, playing for tips and whatever records and cassette tapes I could move. I said, I don't reckon I'll be making it big, man. It's hard to get rich off a tour or coffee house gigs. He said, yeah, man, but ain't it a blessing to do what you want to do? I told him, yes, I pull out to watch the sun disappear into the ocean. It's been years since I smelled that salty sea. We turned another bottle up and down. He saw me lost and he saw me found. And I said, I don't know what I've been looking for. Maybe me. I said, it's getting kind of late. I better be heading down this interstate. Can I give you a lift? I'm headed to San Francisco Bay. He said, nope, I think I'm gonna sit right here and rest. Maybe you wait on the Tokyo, Montana Express. I might just lay here and dream my life away. I'm gonna sit right here and watch the sun disappear into the ocean. It's been years, my Lord, it's been years. I'm gonna turn my bottle up and down. You can see me lost, you can see me found. Well, I met him on the cliffs of Twin Rocks, Oregon. He was sitting on that bedroll looking just like Richard Brodigan. Just like him. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm pretty sure since I've been here and my hero and mentor and a man that was from a distance was almost like a second dad to me whenever I was with him. That's what he felt like. And I'm talking about the late great Chris Christopherson. And yeah, and I met first of all my childhood. His music was just part of life. So those records were some of the first records I grew up listening to. And I memorized those songs. Even as a little kid, I could walk around singing those and a lot of other stuff. But those really affected me, his voice and his way of delivery and his lyric. Unbelievable lyrical brilliance. I just kind of somehow always, that was the goal, and it still is. You just want to hit that mark. Most of us will never hit that, just from sheer intelligence level. He was a brilliant man. And I learned a long time ago I'm probably about that much above average intelligence, and that's on a good day. Because I've been around some real geniuses, you know. But I want to play this one for you. I've done many other ones by Chris before, and maybe I'll do a couple here. I don't want to take up too much time with it, but I like to honor him every show I do now, because you know he's just a special man and influence for sure. First met him at the Dr. Martin Luther King March in Atlanta in 1994. And he was going to be singing a song, and a friend of mine was going to be marching and invited me to march along. And she said, "You ought to bring a CD with you, you know, just in case you get to meet him." I said, "Nah, I don't want to bug him at something like that with a CD, you know." She goes, "Well, I'll give it to him then." So I brought it, and eventually I got to meet him at the end of the whole thing. He was trying to walk alone down the street to get a hotel or a car or something, and I ran up and I said, "Sir, sorry to bug you with this, but this is my music, and you've been a big influence on me." You know? "Oh, okay, all right." He put it in his, you know, jacket pocket and walked on down the street. He didn't want to be bothered, man. I'm like, "Oh, that's terrible. Oh." So that's not the way you want to meet your hero. I kind of felt like anyway. And I was probably about 25 at the time, I suppose. And a few months went by, and I was at home, and this is back before cell phones, of course, and it was my phone rang, and I picked it up, and it was at a time in my career where things weren't going that great. I did have Eddie's Attic. I had Eddie and Eddie's Attic, but I felt dry when it came to songwriting at that moment. I remember I was going through that, which you do from time to time, and the phone rang, and I picked it up, and the voice on the other end went, "Is Shawn Mullins there?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "This is Chris Christopherson." And I said, "Bullshit." And then there's this long pause. And he goes, "No, man, it's really me." He goes, "I just wanted to tell you this CD you gave me, I really love." And he started talking about certain lyrics on certain songs, and he complimented my songs, and he told me to never quit. He goes, "I'm not offering you anything except to tell you to never quit doing what you're doing, because you're going to be a great songwriter, and you're an original thinker." And I remember him telling me that, and I was like, "Woo, man, I never will feel that good again." You know, it was just wonderful to have your hero tell you something like that, and I'm sure that's why he did it, to help me keep going, you know. So he was that was how I kind of first got to know him, and then years later I recorded a song of his that ended up selling a record. You know, the record it was on sold almost 2 million records, and so he was glad to get to know me again, because, you know, it was like, then all of a sudden I was kind of, oh, well, shit, he just sold a bunch of records. And on a song like Sunday Morning Coming Down, you might think that, gosh, that song probably sold billions of records or whatever, but you might be surprised. So when I put it on a record that kind of was on the pop charts and all that kind of thing, it's a really different way to go with that, but it moved it a lot further than maybe a gospel record could have. And so it sold a ton. And I think he really appreciated it, because it had been a while maybe since someone sold those records that amount. Well, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head that didn't hurt. The beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. I stumbled through my closet for my clothes, found my cleanest dirty shirt. shave my face and comb my hair, stumble down the stairs to meet the day. I'd smoke my brain the night before on cigarettes and songs that I'd been picking. But I lit my first and I watched a small kid cussing at a can that he was kicking. Then I crossed the empty street. I caught the Sunday smell of someone frying chicken. And it took me back to something that I'd lost somehow somewhere along the way. On the Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday makes a body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying that's half as lonesome as the sound of the sleeping city sidewalks. And Sunday morning coming down. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl who he was swinging. And I stopped beside the Sunday school. I listened to the song they were singing. And I headed back for home, and somewhere far away a lonely bell was ringing. And it echoed through the canyon like the disappearing dreams of yesterday. On the Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause that's something in a Sunday that makes a body feel alone. There ain't nothing short of dying. It's half as lonesome as the sound of the sleeping city sidewalk. And Sunday morning coming down. The sleeping city sidewalks. Sunday morning coming down. Rest in peace, old friend. He was a funny man too. A lot of people didn't know that, but he was. He was funny as hell. And he'd be real honest with me, which I always really appreciated that. Because you meet some people in show business, and they're not always honest about things. They let you find out the hard way, you know. Not Chris. I got all these auditions back in the day when I had that big hit, and I got auditions for movies. And I don't really have any movie experience, any acting experience. I mean, I did a little bit in high school, but other than that. and I was telling him that I said I read for this movie called Cold Mountain, and I said I thought I did okay, but I don't know, man. I said my casting director, the casting director called my agent and said that I had a little talent for sure, but that I needed to take some auditioning lessons because she could tell I was uncomfortable in front of a camera. And Chris just looks at me. We were looking at the sunset. We were in Hawaii at his house. He's kind of looking like this out at the sunset. As soon as I shut up with that, he goes, "That ain't a real good sign, man." Isn't that awesome? He was going to do one of two things. I was either going to get some auditioning lessons or I was going to quit. One or the other. Yeah, he was wonderful, just wonderful. All right, let's see. Here's one that you might like. This one's set in Georgia. I've been working in my mind anyway. Didn't really get to paper and pen. I don't know why. But there's this song I've been working on for a long time about a man who worked in where now Underground Atlanta is. And there was his name was Solomon Lucky, and then Street Lucky Street's named after him. But look that guy up. A pretty incredible story, and I wanted to write a song about that. This one's about a little place up in North Georgia. It's about an old man looking back on his young life as a soldier and wondering if it was all worth it in the end.
Turned 17, spring of 1861. I killed 20 men before I turned 21. Holes and 20 men, 20 holes is buried in. There they lay in the cold red Georgia clay of Catoosa County. Well, I can hear the screaming, I can smell black powder burning. The cannonballs flying and the Gatling guns are turning. 1,000 souls, 1,000 men, 1,000 holes they is buried in. Shallow graves in the cold hard Georgia clay of Catoosa County. And the blue and the gray paint the colors of their life, while the old men find a way to send the young men off to die. If I could, I would place $100 billion bounty on the hate makes the war that digs the graves of Catoosa County.
souls of all the men roll in the holes there's buried in blue and gray and the blood-red Georgia clay of Catoosa County. And the blue and the gray paint the colors of their life. And it's true, you can pray, but even God ain't saying why. If I could, well, I would bless $100 billion bounty on the hate that makes the war, that digs the graves of Catoosa County. Thank you. And we wrote that just from me driving and also Chuck driving. We would come back and forth to write with each other from Nashville to Atlanta and back and forth, and always past this county road sign as you're leaving Georgia going into Tennessee, Catoosa County. I thought, man, that's a good name for something. We ought to put that in a song. I wonder whatever happened there. And I bet it is. Is that you, bro? No way. Oh, I love it. I'll tell you something. That's too funny, man. So I was playing, I don't know if y'all remember an artist, a songwriter, and wonderful entertainer by the name of Jim Stafford. Yeah, of course, right? Some of you, of course. And I grew up loving that stuff too. And my favorite was a thing that he did. It was the B-side of Spiders and Snakes. If you flipped over that single, there was a song on there called Swamp Witch. And it was awesome. And I remember being 4 or 5 years old, and that song would scare the hell out of me. You know, it's so perfectly written too. It's really it's like a Stephen King novel, just in a poem, and a beautiful. So, not too long ago, Amy and I are on the road, and we hit this town called Winter Haven, Florida. And I'm playing this little club called the. Do y'all know this place already? You were in Winter Haven? Awesome. I love that town. And we played this place called Graham Parsons Dairy Down, and it was this cool little building. There's a listening room now for acoustic music mostly, but Graham Parsons and his teenage band would play there and practice there and have shows there when they were teenagers. And that's where they lived. His family was in the orange business at the time, and his dad had built that building. It's just a cinder block building. And we were playing, I was so excited to play the thing. All of a sudden, the promoter, I found out that Jim Stafford, she had told him that I was a big fan. She had seen something, probably this, how we do these on the YouTube and on the face, all that stuff. And people can watch from home. And I think that's how she was able to find me doing Swamp Witch. And so she told Jim Stafford, because he lives there and very close by. And they surprised me with him just showing up in the afternoon before I was sound checking. He just like walked in. It's Jim Stafford, and he's 81, you know. And I'm like, oh my God. And he walks in, he goes, oh, are you the fellow that's playing tonight? You know, and he's just got the whole thing still. It's like Vegas or Branson or something. He's just got this, man, I mean, it's a real presence. It's old school entertainment. It's song and dance, man, you know what I'm saying? And a badass songwriter and guitar player. And he said, hey, what do you want to do tonight? I'm like, what? He goes, well, I don't know. I figured I'd come by and maybe I'd play something with you. And I'm like, what? Okay, you know, great. So we hang out, we talk, we catch up. He tells me great stories, and this is a tough one to share, but I want to share it because it means a lot to me, and I think it'll mean a lot to you. And maybe if it gets back to him, he'll be okay with it too. So the idea was that I was going to call him out at about an hour into the set to come out and do a few things, and you know, surprise guest. And as I was leaving the little dressing room to get ready to come on to do my show, there was a barrier between he and I. So I believe he thought I was gone, and I wasn't gone. It's just he couldn't see me. And then here's the curtain, and the ladies out there doing announcements, as the promoter will do. Coming up next week, we have whatever, and da-da-da. And I'm there at the curtain, and I can hear Jim say, I'm Jim Stafford, and I'm 81 years old, and there ain't a damn thing I can do about it. Kind of laughs. And about that time, the lady goes, Shawn Mullins, and I have to open the curtain and like enter this room full of people after like kind of experience this this very vulnerable thing that I'm pretty sure he was talking to himself, but maybe not. Then I thought, well, maybe it was going to be his first line when he came out and went, I'm Jim Stafford, and I'm 81 years old, and there ain't a damn thing I can do about it, because that's something he would think of doing, too. So I wasn't sure if he was thinking of a bit, or if he was, like, going, Jesus, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is tough, because he's at that spot in his life. He happens to be. And he was just amazing. He got out there and just blew it away. So I'm going to do this in his honor, and he's wonderful. Go on YouTube if you do that kind of thing sometime and look up Jim Stafford doing a song called Cow Patty. And it's on the Smothers Brothers show. But just look up Jim Stafford, Cow Patty. Just do yourselves a favor. All right, here's a Swamp Witch song. Well, Blackwater Hattie lived back in the swamp where the strange green reptiles crawl. And the snakes hang thick from the cypress trees like sausage on a smokehouse wall. And the swamp is alive with 1,000 eyes, and all of them watching you. Keep off the track, a Hattie's shack, in the back of the Black Bayou. Way up the road from Hattie's shack lies a sleepy little Okeechobee town. Talk of Swamp Witch Hattie, she'll lock you in when the sun go down. And rumors of what she done, and rumors of what she do, keep folks off the track, a Hattie's shack in the back of the Black Bayou. One day brought the rain, and the rain stayed on. The swamp water overflowed. The skeeters and the fever grabbed the town like a fist. Doc Jackson was the first to go. And some said the plague was brought by Hattie. There was talk of a hanging too. But the talk got shackled by the howls and the cackles from the boughs of the Black Bayou. Between dark and dawn, when shadows filled the sky, there came an unseen caller on a town where hope run dry. And on the square was found a big black round vat full of gurgling brew, whispering sounds as the folks gathered round. It came from the Black Bayou. took a sip. The fever went away, and the very next day, the skies again were blue. Well, let's thank old Hattie for saving our town. We'll fetch her from the Black Bayou. The party of 10 of the town's best men headed for Hattie's shack. They said swamp witch magic is useful and good, and they're gonna bring Hattie back. Well, they never found Hattie, and they never found her shack, and they never made her trip back in. Just a parchment note they found tacked to a stump said, "Don't come looking again." Jim Stafford. I don't do it nearly as good, though. He's so good still, man. So cool. I can't see. Oh yeah. Whew. Man, you know it's bad when I got handwriting that looks like a serial killer anyway, and so it really does. It's either a doctor or a serial killer, either one. But I notice when I take my glasses off, sometimes I can see better, but not that particular song. I could not see it. I'm sorry about that. I'd like to invite our dear friend back out on the stage, Mr. Levi Lowrey, please. Yeah. How you doing, brother? Yeah, yeah. Don't y'all love him? Isn't he great? Levi Lowrey. I still remember the first time I met you, actually. I think it was on the Kayamo thing, the very first one. Yeah, yeah.
I got sick too.
Recently or on that?
On that one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It happens. It happens. I mean, you get, what, 2,500 people, 3,000 people on a cruise ship. It's like a floating petri dish, really, you know?
It is. Mine was completely bourbon induced.
Okay, different deal. Yeah. Yeah. I remember I went on the rock boat a couple of times. I was kind of scared of that one. Yeah. Yeah. And I went and talked to Andy Levine, and he said, "Well, that's interesting." I said, "Man, I don't know if that rock boat's the right thing for me. I'm just letting you know that. I appreciate the gig, though, but I'm hiding in my cabin the whole time. And if I'm not playing, I'm kind of hiding. It's just a little bit too much." I was like, I did all that shit when I was like 19, 20, that kind of age. I was like, wow. Saw this guy one night. I heard this noise on the rock boat, and I opened my cabin door. It was in the middle of the night, and there was a man on all fours with just his tighty whities on. And he was knocking on the door on his hands and knees, you know. He was like, "Come on, honey, let me back in." It's that kind of vibe, you know. It's all good. I was just looking for something more like this. And they created Kayamo, which is wonderful, where there's listening audiences on the cruise ship, which is very cool. Thank you for playing this one with me, bro. Well, it's 3 a.m. and the snakes have moved in. I'm playing to 4 drunks and me. But the beer is cold and the memory is old. The lights are so bright. can't see. And lonesome, I know you too well. You ring in my ears just like a bell, and you're hollow like a dark, empty well. Lonesome, I know you too well. Now time stands still, sometimes spins like a wheel. Whenever I see her around, oh, but she doesn't know, and I'll never show her. There's too many eyes in this town. And lonesome, I know you too well. You ring in my ears just like a bell. You're hollow like a dark, empty well. Lonesome, I know you. Oh, lonesome, I know you too well. Well, it's 3 a.m. and the snakes have moved in. Levi Lowrey, y'all. Thank you, brother. Beautiful. I love me some Levi. Isn't he great? Okay. All right. Let's see. I've got one for you here. This one I wrote in probably around, I think it was about 1997, and in November, and I was playing a little songwriters festival in, well, it's either in Alabama or Florida, depending on where you are. There, just it's a place called the Floribama, and the old Floribama, you'd walk in and there was a package store part of it, and I don't remember if there was actually a line down the floor, but there was basically, one was Florida, one was Alabama, and I think they had 2 payphones, from what I remember. And it was a real funky, cool old place. And there was a hurricane maybe around that year or the year after that destroyed that version of the Floribama, but they keep building it every time they can try to knock it down, but it'll come back. And it's a great thing. They have a mullet toss every year. And I'm not talking about the haircut either. It's a fish down there, and see how far you can throw the fish. But it's actually a real cool place for old songwriters that have retired. A lot of them have gone down there over the years, but I went down there a few times, and the man that would bring me down was another hero of mine named Larry John Wilson. And Larry John Wilson was he had a lot to do with my becoming a storyteller, that part of what I do. That was a big part of it, was watching him and listening to him. And also others, but he was kind of one of the personal ones. And he was a Georgia-based songwriter. He was He was from, South Georgia originally and then Augusta. And fantastic. You may have heard me before do a song, Sapphalo. That's one of his. Friday Night Fights is one that I learned from him. It's not his original written song, but that's how I learned it. So he's one of those cats. But what was great about Larry John is a lot of things. I mean, one of the things that would blow your mind is he had calligraphy type handwriting. He was this man that played Georgia football for a little while in the 60s at some point, or early 60s maybe. He was a guard or a tackle for the University of Georgia. So he's this big dude, and like big forearms and big shoulders, and could drink 50 beers, in a day, no problem. And he learned to play guitar when he was 30 years old. And he'd working for a chemistry company, and he decided to quit that and just see if he could make it as a musician. Can you believe that? Moved to Nashville and worked his way into making 3 records in Nashville. And anyway, he was a big part of my life, and I miss him very much. He's not with us anymore. I know Eddie was very close with him as well. We loved us some Larry John. So I'll do this one for Larry John, and it's called The Gulf of Mexico. Well, she cooks some ham and hoe cakes at 5:30 every morning. She does the dishes and she irons his uniform. And she thinks she might have loved him once, but that was so long ago. And the rain pours down like a holy waterfall over the Gulf of Mexico. The boardwalk's deserted and the beaches all closed down. The middle school punk rockers, they ride their skateboards through the town. And she looks back and she daydreams about things and people she ain't never seen, just to keep from being blue. And she gets home about 3:45 and she drives her brother to the liquor store on Peter Avenue. Hey, hey. I'm parked on the state line on this cold November day. And pretty soon I'll be a driving fool somewhere down this lost highway. Then I hear a voice from my soul's core say, freedom's just a metaphor, you know you got nowhere to go. Oh, yeah, got nowhere, boy. The rain pours down like a holy waterfall over the Gulf of Mexico. Over the Gulf of Mexico. Over the Gulf of Mexico. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Hey, Levi, are you around still? Hey, man, come on out, because I'm feeling lonesome up here. Yeah, right? Well, yeah. I've been, I like working around my birthday. For some reason, it keeps, it just kind of keeps you going. And, thank you. It's not my birthday really today, but it doesn't matter. Because you know how it gets as you get older. You're like, yeah, I don't want to celebrate it this year that much, it's all good. But I suppose I'm happy, to be here, that's for certain. And yeah, let's see here. This song was the second time I had a #1 song, and I was so proud because it was on the Americana charts and the AAA charts, and that meant that it was cooler than being on. I thought it was a lot cooler than being on the pop charts, So I was like getting off of the Sony and Columbia and getting onto the small label and starting to do my own thing again. Well, what I didn't know is that I would only make hundreds of dollars by having a #1 Americana song instead of $1 million. It's a big difference. It's not cooler. It's like when my little boy, on the first time he got a busted knee, he like skinned his knee, and I didn't realize I'm such a dumbass. I didn't realize don't be sarcastic about it. Don't do what you would do and say, ooh, that's a good one, which is exactly what I did. He has this terrible scraped knee, and I go, oh, buddy, that's a good one. And he went, it is not a good one. And I'm like, well, of course it's not a good one. I didn't mean it that way. I meant this. 2, 1, 2, 3. I've lost count of the times I've given up on you, but you make such a beautiful wreck, you do. Yeah, there's a tavern on the corner called the Milky Way, and you look so at home there, it makes me afraid. And at the dark end of this bar, what a beautiful wreck you are. When you go too far, a beautiful wreck you are then. And all the plans that you had from 7 years ago, like all the promises you made, I watched them come and go. You put your keys in the car, but it would not drive. With your hands on the wheel, looking barely alive. Yeah, yeah, hey, I'm still sitting here waiting on the passenger such a beautiful record, yeah, you make such a beautiful record, yeah, you make such a beautiful record. At the dark end of this bar, what a beautiful wreck you are. When you go too far, a beautiful wreck you are. What a beautiful, such a beautiful wreck you are. What a beautiful, such a beautiful wreck. How long have you played the fiddle, man?
Long enough to where I should be way better.
I understand. That's how I feel about guitar, for sure. Yep.
It's pick your instrument day in 6th grade. That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember doing that in 4th grade, and it was cello.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I played cello for a couple years, maybe 3rd. So 3rd and 4th grade, yeah. And then about when I was in I was about 11 when my brother showed me some chords on the guitar and a few key songs to learn, like Freebird. And seriously, it was, I think it was the very first song that I learned. And because you get G, it was actually a really smart way of teaching me, because you get G, D, E minor, and then F, C, and D. And then you get some bar chords in there. Once you learn a little bit further, you can, and it's a pretty cool way of teaching, you know, actually.
That's true.
And I was able to play quite a few songs after I learned Freebird, you know. So thank you to Skinnerd, and thank you to my older brother too. Mark went on to become a Navy SEAL, and he retired as SEAL, and went on to, now he works another job that's much less stressful. He's still working, but he does another job that's not so stressful now. But I'm very grateful for him, and glad he was in the Pentagon on 9/11 actually. He was working there at that time, so he was luckily on the actual opposite side of the Pentagon when the plane hit. It was crazy. So I'm glad he's still with us, and I know if y'all have ever had anyone in the military lost or close to being lost, or you're scared of that, it's heavy duty, man. Let's do a song about, it makes me kind of want to be a prepper when I'm thinking about that, you know, because I started watching that show a few years ago, Doomsday Preppers. And I kind of got into it. I don't know what it was. It was probably during COVID. But the song was written before that, but when COVID happened, it started making a lot more sense. COVID, there's a few TV shows that inspired it, though. And if you've ever, a lot of great songwriters will tell you to kill your television. And I think that's probably really good advice. I'm a television person, though. I've always been. So it's hard for me to get away from it. Anyway. Well, you can read it in the papers, watch it on the news. Everybody's got the pre-apocalyptic blues. You better be ready when the shit goes down. Well, you better head on down to Costco, get you a buggy full of rice and beans. year's supply of 2-ply for your composting train, so you'll be ready when the shit goes down. Oh, don't hesitate, don't procrastinate, I'll be running scared. There ain't no second chances for the bravery impaired, 'cause you know there's a couple of commies hiding underneath your bed, and the zombie's gonna eat up all the brains in your head. I got a Rambo knife with a compass on it and a ballistic bug-out bag. I got an AK-47, about 100 extra mags. I'm gonna be ready when the shit goes down. Go, Levi. Got a Stinger missile mounted on my wife's SUV. They won't get to me no matter who they are. I got landmines buried all over my yard, 'cause I read it in the papers, all I watched it on the news. Now I got the cryptic pre-apocalyptic blues. I'm gonna be ready when the shit goes down. Will you be ready when the shit goes? It's a weird line to repeat, isn't it? Down. Man, what a great solo. That was beautiful, man. That was fun. All right, let's see here. I think we got another one for you. If this one works. Now, this is an American guitar here, by God. This is made in 1955. And it's a good guitar. Now, this is a good guitar, too. This is probably based on an American guitar, but it's a Canadian guitar. I know it, but I've had it for a long time. I didn't have to get it recently, luckily. And I bought mine at the Guitar Center about 25 years ago. And back when this man had a small shop in British Columbia named Jean Lowrey. And his wife, he would do all the building part, and his wife did all the pearl inlay and this eagle here. And it's a really cool little guitar, and it's got koa wood, which is a different wood and probably also not okay to have, but I have it anyway, so. No, I'm kidding, koa's fine. There are some woods you're not supposed to have. I remember going to Australia one time, and they were really looking my guitars over. They wanted to know what exactly kind of wood it was, you know? I was like, wow, man, this is a trip. You know, I had a really big hit here. That's what I told the guy. He was like, I don't care, mate. We don't want any weird bugs in our country. Coming from weird wood. All right. Hey,
Thank you guys so much. Y'all been so good to me tonight. Thanks again to our dear friend Levi Lowrey.
He said, "Do I want to do it? Do you want to do it with me?" I'm like, "Well, it's, you know, like this is one of my heroes." This guy's absolutely one of my heroes, and to share the stage with him is a privilege and an honor. And happy birthday, Shawn!
Thank you.
Y'all make sure you come back, see him again. Come back tomorrow and see him with Mr. Chuck Cannon, another songwriting legend, and hero of mine as well.
Unfortunately, if you hadn't bought tickets, that one's sold out. Y'all did the right thing
Well,
by popping
go
in
stand
tonight.
outside.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll do a telecast, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Watch it on your phone.
She grew up at the Children of the Stars, in the Hollywood Hills and the Boulevard. Her parents threw big parties, you know everyone was there. Hung out with folks like Dennis Hopper, Bob Seger, and Sonny and Cher. She feels safe now in this bar on Fairfax. And from the stage I can tell that she can't let go and she can't relax. And just before she hangs her head to cry, I sing to her a lullaby. I sing everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, rockabye. Everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, rockabye, rockabye. She still lives with her mom outside the city. Down that street about a half a mile. And all her friends tell her that she's so pretty. She'd be a whole lot prettier, you know, if she'd smile once in a while. But you know, even her smile, it looks just like a frown, y'all. She's seen her share of devil in this angel town. Everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, rockabye. Everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, rockabye, rockabye. I told him, I said, I ain't so sure about this place. It's hard to play a gig in this town and keep a straight face. It seems like everybody's got a plan. It's kind of like Nashville with a tan. Y'all sing it. Rockabye, rockabye.
goodbye. Say bye-bye, baby. Say bye-bye, yeah. Thank y'all so much. Shawn, Levi, Lowrey.
Thank y'all so very much. So special for y'all to be here. Help me celebrate 57 years on this crazy world. I love y'all. Thank you.
You listen while I talk to you now. Tell you what we're gonna do now. There's a new thing going around, yeah. And I'll tell you what it's putting down now. Move your body on.